Circumstances made me what I am. Was I born a violent man? Circumstances made me what I am. Everyone should know. May sound strange, might sound foolish, but things are getting better. Every day another fall victim to the beretta. Why is there so much violence killing me one another? Let us learn to love and let that light shine brighter. Bad influence, you influence the youth and get slaughtered. As bad man used to be, them respect the father. It's like no eyes don't realize the times get harder. Me talk all night without my mind and still is laughter. Circumstances made me what I am. Was I born a violent man? Circumstances made me what I am. And everyone should know. Inside, when I try to cope, tell myself there is hope. It seems like the biggest joke. And as I put down the gun, still dollars must run. I know employment can come. And me a jam and a cool, want go back in a school. The system lick me. There's no hope for those who have not from the slum. Take the little much we have, still hunting we done. I beg you to show some love. When we get back, he replies, circumstances made me what I am. Was I born a violent man? Circumstances made me what I am. And everyone should know. Well, I know little cry, mama cry, papa cry too. She want the boy with a heart and that couldn't do. You know them find him dead with a Smith and Wesson. 6 weeks and change now, me a remiss. Why so much violence? Too much violence. It hurts my soul and I won't keep silent. Circumstances made me what I am. That was his reply, I cried. Circumstances made me what I am. Everyone should know. May sound strange, might look foolish, but things are getting better. Every day another fall victim to the beretta. Why is there so much violence killing me one another? Let us learn to love and let that light shine brighter. Bad influence, you influence the youth and get slaughtered. As bad man used to be, them respect the father. It's like no eyes don't realize the times get harder. I talk all night with all my might and still is laughter. Circumstances made me what I am. Was I born a violent man? Circumstances made me what I am. And everyone should know now. And when I try to cope, tell myself there is hope. It seems like the biggest joke. And as I put down the gun, collateral must run. I know employment can't come. And me a think about cool, want go back in a school. The system lick me. There's no hope for those who have not from the slum. Take the little much we have, still hunting we done. Will we show some love? Will we get back some now? Circumstances made me what I am. Was I born a violent man? Circumstances made me what I am. Every man should know. Oh, circumstances made me what I am. Was I born a violent man?
Yes, family, we are here again. Another Monday, another cold Monday evening in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. We are at a 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Look, I step outside, getting ready to come to the show, and I was like, hell no. I was to step back in and get myself a jacket. It's a cold one outside, family. Dress for the occasion. Yes, you are listening to The Proven Truth. You are now tuned into The Proven Truth with your brother and host, Anthony Brown. As usual, to participate in the program, you can dial the number 504-303-8922. You can also dial 712-432-7883 to listen to us. You can check us out on the web You can listen to us on the web by going to www.radiogombocreole.net. You can also check us out on Facebook. We live stream these programs on Facebook. It's Anthony Brown for Assessor 2017. That's Anthony Brown for Assessor 2017. We archive these programs on the YouTube channel and other places. However, on the YouTube channel, you can check us out. You can see previous recording of the show. You can check us out at the Proven Truth. Again, you are now tuned into the Proven Truth with your brother and host, Anthony Brown. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure blessing of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. The United States Constitution. All governments of right originates with the people, is formed on their will alone, and is instituted to protect the rights of the individual and for the good of the whole. Its only legitimate ends are to secure justice for all, preserve peace, protect the rights, and promote the happiness and general welfare of the people. The Louisiana Constitution, 1974. We are presently celebrating Mardi Gras, what they call Mardi Gras here in the territory of New Orleans. And as I said before, it's a chilly one outside, it's 50 degrees. Now, the parade route for the Mardi Gras is all up and down Canal Street, all over Mid-City, all over the place. There is one set of people that I want you guys to be aware of during this festive time. We have one set of people who, because of no fault of their own, actually pick up residence underneath the Claiborne Bridge. And in all honesty, not only the Claiborne Bridge, but basically every single bridge that you can think about here in this territory. You know, who knows the reason why, but for whatever reasons they are there, you know, don't just pass these people by the wayside and don't show them the love. When you throw your beads, throw them a jacket if you can. When you throw your beads, throw them a warm sandwich if you can. When you walk by and shake your ass, shake somebody's hand if you can. You don't know what the circumstances or how these people get to be where they are. But understand this concept, brothers and sisters. When I was growing up, there was an old-time saying, today for you, tomorrow for me. What does that mean? Mean today, you look at these guys sleeping underneath the Clearborn Bridge or any other bridge, a matter of fact, and you might laugh and jeer them. But what about tomorrow? Who is to say that tomorrow you won't have your tent there as well? Show some love. Show some love. It is we who needs to show the love to our fellow mankind. Not this so-called institution that we call government. The people who we elect to public office to serve us in putting their foot forward to get this job, they make themselves look highly recommended. However, once the job is attained, they totally disregard and forget we the people, we the bosses. And that's what we are all about, holding them accountable. Lest we forget that we are still in the month of February, and even as I said before, and I'll continue to say, the history of the black man predates what we call modern civilization. Our history cannot just be composed to 1 month. However, because of the great work of our brother, Dr. Carter G. Wilson, we have this month that is dedicated to us as the black people, or as people all over the diaspora who never before had a month set aside just for us. We have this what we call Black History Month. It doesn't matter that this month is the shortest month of the year. It doesn't really matter. That's missing the point. We cannot afford to let other people or special interests steer the narrative as it relates to who we celebrate, when we celebrate them, or for what purpose we celebrate them. The onus is on us to not only celebrate but recognize the contribution of our ancestors, people who give their life, make the ultimate sacrifice so that we as black people like us here in the 21st century can walk with our heads all high and brush our shoulders off and beat our chest up, telling everybody, oh, we have arrived, or we achieved, or we are Mr. this or Mr. that, or honorable this or honorable that. If it wasn't for our ancestors, people who know that not because the pigmentation of our skin look different. We were born men. And are entitled to equality, justice, and every other thing, any adjective you want to choose to put out there. And it is with that spirit that we recognize the life, the work, the sacrifice of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. It is with that spirit that we recognize Anani of the Maroon, a black sister find ourselves in the Caribbean who raised hell against the British, utilize that spiritual. No, listen, I didn't say religious or Christian belief. I said spiritual, because as a black people, or as black people, that's what we are accustomed to. Spiritual belief. It was that spiritual belief that Bookman Duty, Caribbean brother from Jamaica, went and joined his other brothers there on the island of Haiti. Bring to bear and started a revolution back in the 1700s. What was the result of that? A free and independent Haiti. The only free and independent black nation at the time, and still is today, is because of that spirit we recognize and honor a Paul Bogle. We recognize and honor a Fred Hamilton. We recognize and honor a Maurice Bishop. We recognize and honor a Carter G. Wilson. Our sister, Tugman, Harriet Tugman. A Thomas Sankara, a black brother on the continent of Africa, who told his people, let's not wait on the white man to feed us. We can feed ourselves. We can produce enough, not only to feed ourselves, but to export and generate revenue. We recognize a Bookman Duty, a Toussaint Lovingshore, a Jack Dasslane. We recognize our ancestors. These are people who the average kid in school don't know much about, because these people in their very actions are revolutionary people, people who believe, are black leaders who believe that holding hands and singing Kumbaya and we shall overcome, and it will get better one day, is not the philosophy nor the teaching of America. When America needed its freedom, or wanted its freedom, what did America do? You don't know? Go check history. We now call it or celebrate it as the Revolutionary War. That's what they did. They fought and give their life for theirs. It wasn't only the Revolutionary War. It was a civil war as well. So, we don't need nobody to tell us who we gonna celebrate. Yeah, we recognize you give a Martin Luther King a Martin Luther King Day. Now, what else could have you done? Brothers and sisters, last week, I started to share a story. I call it a story. It's actually factual occurrence that happens to me and many others. But again, this is one of the reasons why we choose to promote and establish our own media, our own source of promoting our stories. We will report on our own stories. I told you guys that I had a case or an issue in the Civil District Court, Orleans Parish. And I also told you guys that the clerk of the court is one Miss Dale Atkins. And for those who remember, I also told you that the case in particular was in Division N. Now, I filed a complaint in Division N against governmental official for the cronyism and the corruption and the theft of private property. And when you understand the fact that the court system is one branch of government, the judicial branch, and even though there is a document that these judicial officials, these people that call themselves judges, like in this case, what's her name? She want us to refer to her as judge, so we'll give her that honor. Ethelyn Sims Julian. That's the judge in this case. Even though there's a document, the Code of Judicial Conduct, that these judges or so-called judges supposed to honor and recognize, the canon code, they totally disregard these documents when it comes on to other elected officials in different branches of government. And in so doing, render not justice, but tyranny in the courts. Listen to what Canon 1 says. This is the laws that these judges supposed to abide by. This is the code of the code of ethics. This is the code of ethics for the judges. A judge shall uphold the integrity and the independence of the judiciary. Now, even though we are coming to you live from the studio of Radio Gumbo Creole here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, this code of conduct applies to all judges in all territories. Now, they might number them differently, depends on which territory you're in. But it's the same basic code that affects all of these judges. And the federal judges have this same code of conduct too. And in some aspect, the verbiage maybe differs not very far. But again, a judge shall uphold the integrity and the independence of the judiciary. An independent and honorable judiciary is indispensable to justice in our society. A judge should participate in establishing, maintaining, and enforcing all shall personnel observe. So what does that mean? That means you, as an elected official, a member of the branch of government, the judiciary, supposed to act as such at all times, irrelevant of somebody from the legislative branch or somebody from the executive branch. That ain't supposed to make a difference. But as we have experienced in these kangaroo courts, it doesn't make a difference, or they don't respect or honor these documents that was established for them when they so operate in that official capacity, as you call it, judge, or any other capacity. So your brother went and he filed my complaint. And in filing the complaint, the case was dismissed. Now, I pay $780 to the clerk of court. That $780 goes towards, or it was in requesting what we call a jury trial. Again, we recognize the fact that without a jury trial, there is nothing, justice will never be rendered. Justice in New Orleans, inside these courts, as they call them, will never be rendered by an independent judge. These judges are biased. A lot of the bias comes from them being financially connected to the process. So they are actually looking out for their pocketbooks, their welfare. They really don't care about justice in these courts. More so when it come on to you representing yourself as what we call a proper person, or when it come on to you challenging another branch of government. They don't care, brothers and sisters. So let's move on. What did we do? We asked these crooks. We did a motion, we call a motion. We submit a motion asking for the money that we initially give to the clerk of the court, that $780 to be returned to us. Because one, the case was dismissed and there was no service rendered. Now, again, for those who haven't heard the story, this $780 was only a part of the fee. There was another $500 and something that was paid for the complaint itself. So that just to show you that justice eludes a lot of people. How many people can pick up close to $1,300 just to file a complaint? How many people here in New Orleans work $1,300 for the month? You have people out here in the hospitality industry only getting $2.15 an hour. I couldn't believe when I heard that shit. So, I did my motion. I didn't get my money. She denied. But this is what this is what Dale Atkins, a matter of fact, let's back up. When I went to Dale Atkins' office, because Again, for those of you who don't know, Dale Atkins is the clerk of court for the Civil District Court here in the territory of New Orleans. She's presently a candidate vying for the seat or to fill the seat on the Louisiana 4th Circuit Court of Appeal. Never served one day as a judge in the lower court, but that's a different day. And knowing that she's a head ancho, I request to speak to her. She wasn't there. I can't tell she wasn't there or she was unavailable. Okay, Miss Atkins. Now, in all fairness, she did call me back a couple of days after. Now, this is what her deputy clerk gave me, Miss Napoleon. She gave me this document and she said, look, Mr. Brown, it's not our fault. We don't normally return fees. It's not our fees, and we don't normally return fees. Not only that, but it is the court who implement these fees. And I said, really? And I consider myself a reasonable person. When somebody put forth an argument, I'll look at it, I'll wait, I'll put my 2 cents worth of thought, thinking process on it, and if it can go either way, I say, okay. Now, in my hands, I have the document. And this is something that struck me very, when I saw the document. It says, pursuant to Local Rule 5, the following fees schedule reflects the most current increase to the filing fee. Filing fee shall be paid to the clerk of court at the time pleading or filing, which I did, pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 13:86, Act 131 of the 2016 regular session. Effective January 1st, 2016, the clerk of district court shall impose and collect from each party liable for court costs the additional sum of 50 cents for each initial filing in all civil matters. The filing fee authorized by Louisiana Revised Statute 13:10.3 relative to the judge's supplemental compensation fund was increased by 50 cents from $24 to $24.50 effective July 1st, 2017. Now, when I saw that, I went crazy. I said, hold up. There's an increase of fee. Are you walk inside this court and you paying these fees to go towards these crooked judges' supplemental compensation fund? Now, look, this is one way of looking at it. I really wouldn't have a problem if I know for a fact that when you walk inside these courts, that your fee or these judges would render justice. I wouldn't have a problem. But there's no rendering of justice inside these courts that we know of. Maybe once in a blue moon, somebody who was rightfully wrong come out and say, well, yeah, there was victory. So I decide to go and look and the law as it was quoted. Now, let's read Revised Statute 1310.3. Judges Supplemental Compensation Fund. Creation source of fund. A judge supplemental compensation fund, hereafter referred to as the fund, is hereby created. The proceeds from the fund shall be used solely and exclusively for salary supplements to judges and commissioners, for related costs of state or municipal retirement fund, and for necessary and associated administrative expense. B. The Judge Supplemental Fund board is hereby created. The members of this commission shall serve 2 terms unless otherwise specified. A member may not serve more than 2 successive terms. The board shall be domiciled in Baton Rouge. The member shall serve without pay. And I saw that part, I said without pay, and I said, that in itself sounds credible. But then I started to read some more. 2. The board shall comprise of 5 members to be selected as follows. A. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court or his designee. All the hell up. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Let's go to B. One Court of Appeal judge selected by the Conference of Court of Appeal judges in a manner to be determined by that conference. So what are we saying here? You got judges who are imposing these fees onto people, and then in cases like mine, refuse from giving back those fees even when no service is rendered. It's a joke. It's a criminal act. This judge going to deny me the fee that I paid or the money that I paid. And again, listen to the concept. The premise is, as Miss Napoleon said, that this go towards the clerks or the people who file the paperwork. We're talking about $780 here. We're talking about people who, if they are getting $12 an hour, they are receiving a lot. These people, it's a ripoff. It's a ripoff. Look, let's take a quick break, then we'll come right back.
Until the philosophy which hold one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Everywhere is war. It's a war that until they're no longer first class and second class citizens of any nation, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes. It's a war that until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regard to race. But it's a war that until that day, the dream of lasting peace, world citizenship, rule of international morality, the remaining but a fleeting illusion to be pursued, but never attained. Now everywhere is war, war, and until the ignoble and unhappy regime that hold our brothers in Angola, in Mozambique, South Africa, subhuman bondage, have been toppled, totally destroyed. Well, everywhere is war. It's a war. War in the east, war in the west, war up north, war down south, war, war, rumors of a war, and until that day,
Yes, yes, family, welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to The Proven Truth. You're listening to The Proven Truth with your brother and host, Anthony Brown, coming to you live from the territory here of New Orleans, Louisiana, the studio of Radio Gumbo Creole. To participate in the program, you can dial us at 504-303-8922. To listen to us, you can dial 712-432-7883. You can also listen to us via the web at www.radiogombocreole.net. We do live stream these shows on Facebook. You can also check us out, Anthony Brown for Assessor 2017. It's Mardi Gras time here in New Orleans. And you got a lot of parade and stuff going on right now. You know, we have people come from all over to celebrate this festive season, Mardi Gras. I'm coming to you from the studio. The quote of the day: great principles, great ideals, knows no nationality. Marcus Mosiah Garvey. There's an issue that we need to talk about. There's a issue that I'm really passionate about, just like many other people here, passionate about it. We have a company here in New Orleans, a company by the name of Civic Source. This company is a company that it's a Delaware licensed company. They are licensed, or they was created and registered as a Delaware company. They are registered here to do business here in New Orleans. This company, they auction property. They auction property we call tax, or they choose to call tax distressed properties. These are properties that the local municipality claims that they have an interest in, and because they claim they have an interest in these properties, they have this company by the name of Civic Source to come and auction these properties. Now, Civic Source is a for-profit, non-governmental company. Civic Source is not a part or a branch of government, giving it no authority or jurisdiction to perform any governmental function. The CEO of Civic Source is a gentleman by the name of Byron P. Burroughs, B-A-R-R-I-O-S. And who is Byron P. Burroughs? He's an attorney or somebody with a law degree. He's somebody that is always politically connected. And he's somebody who knows how to manipulate and write laws. Now, he's not the only person who is associated with Civic Source. There's actually, if you check the Secretary of State website, or if you should check the members, the official members of Civic Source, you will recognize you have, I think it's 5 persons on that board. William Sassoman, that's one. You got Brian Danos, that's D-A-N-O-S. But the chief guy, the head honcho, is Byron Burroughs. He's the person who go around to all these municipalities and in some way, shape, or form convince them to allow him to sell or to auction people private property or people's property. Properties to which neither Civic Source or none of these municipalities can claim. Or let me clarify that. Before anybody starts to jump onto the skin. There is certain properties that the municipal corporation acting in that capacity can actually auction or have any claims to. And how they get claims to these properties? They get claims to these property because of that privilege that they so exercise or extend to a person who is operating a business. And they do it through license. Different type of license, occupational license, trade license, license. Because the way how the system is structured now, the way how corporate America is structured, the way how capitalism is structured, you cannot operate certain business on a global level or a national level without you show certain credentials. Now, this system was implemented by government or because of a few greedy elected officials just so that they could generate more money than what we the people allocate them to have, or that what the Constitution guarantees them to have. So they go there and they put a broad umbrella. They institute this broad umbrella under which you have to live or to survive in this system, in this capitalistic system. You have to play their game. So with that aspect, or with that concept in mind and that realization in mind, there is certain property that they have some legal authorities to, and then that in itself would fall underneath the public side. Those property to which we're talking would fall underneath the public side, or property that's operating under what is known as privilege. So what we are saying is that if these businesses or these properties, because of the privilege that they are exercising, it could, at that point, the government would have some hold or authority over that particular business. Let me give you an example. You open a business, all right? This is New Orleans. Let's talk about Bourbon Street. Are those restaurants down there and Bourbon Street are in that part of the city. A lot of these business, when they was established or before they was established, they went and applied for occupancy license, permits, liquor license. You know, these are licenses that, because they are operating out there in the general public, or to the public at large, the municipal corporation basically impose certain fees and regulation on them to operate in selling food to the general public. Right? That's one revenue stream for them, one additional revenue stream for them. For those who dispense liquor or alcohol, there is a fee, a governmental fee, and a regulatory body that is associated with that. It's a privilege to sell liquor, alcohol to the masses of the people like that. And because all of the regulatory aspect of it, you know, are the privileged side of it, in which they can either give it to you or don't give it to you, or they can give it to you and take it back as they please. You are charged a tax towards that. That is the public nature. That is the privileged side of the business. Not to say you couldn't go there and sell alcohol or sell food to people, to your neighbors or to your friends and family. You know, that in itself is a close-knit group of people. But we're talking about on a mass scale or a mass level or a repetitious type of thing, wherein you are actually now selling that food or that alcohol, or utilizing this commercial building for your livelihood, for a livelihood. on a day-to-day basis. Wherein people coming in and giving you money for a service or for a product. That's all of that you can categorize as commerce. All that fall underneath commerce. And to that aspect, and underneath that portfolio, that umbrella, these so-called municipal corporations have a leg to stand on, or we would give up, we give them a leg to stand, and that concept alone. If you understand the fact, look, we read the Constitution, both of the United States and the Constitution of the territory of Louisiana every time we start this program, or before we start each and every show. And again, we do that for a purpose. Because if you go back to the Constitution of Louisiana, it tells you the origin and purpose of government. It's to protect your happiness. How many people out there know are happy? How many people out there feel prosperous because of government? How many people can stand and say, look, government is defending my way of life or my livelihood? So, what am I saying? Government was not instituted to reign tyranny upon the people. Right? We institute that body, be it local, federal, or state, to do or to perform certain duties that we the people choose not to perform. And that duty is on the public side. It was never meant to be on the private side. Government have no foot, no right, no legal standing on the private side. It's only in the commercial realm can they exercise certain authority or certain portfolio. Not on the private side. And a lot of us tend to forget that. And because we forget that, they don't have no authority to operate on the private side. That is the reason why they run amok and do what they do. So this is what we are saying. We give them the authority. So underneath that umbrella, they have certain authority to exercise certain portfolio. Because at that point, out there under commerce, you are now categorized as exercising a privilege. And it is a key point or a key note in which we need to understand. So they can charge you certain fees when you come on to operating a privilege. Another example. These tractor trailers that's out there running up and down these highways and interstates and byways and highways and freeways. These guys are actually operating these vehicles for a financial gain, the drivers. So we the people institute this government. A matter of fact, the truth about it, local government as we know it really don't have no business in this in the commercial aspect of transportation. But let's not stray away. That's a whole total different show. Let's bring it back here to what we're talking about. When we operate, or when we operate a business that we can categorize as it being a privilege, that means we give up certain authority to certain governmental agency or department. We understand that there is a certain taxes or certain revenue that we're going to have to pay for those privileges. And underneath that privilege, it must be a governmental agency, not a for-profit company or organization. Not somebody who, like Civic Source, who is registered, who the official name is Archon Information System LLC. We the people don't have no business or relationship with no limited liability corporation. We don't. In these documents that we read at the beginning of each program, what we call the Constitution, we grant no authority, no privilege, no powers to no LLC. No. We grant it to what we choose to call a group of people we choose to call government. Government. And in the Louisiana Constitution, in Article 10 of the Louisiana Constitution, Section 30, Section 30, we ask each individual, each person, each member, before you start your function or start to exercise your duty as that elected official, doesn't matter what you want to call yourself, a statesman, a council member, a judge, an attorney, not an attorney, but a judge, a member of government, whatever member of government you are, to take this oath of office, that you will uphold the Constitution and the law of the land. We didn't give that authority to any members of a for-profit company or a LLC. No, we didn't. So that tells us that no member of the board or the franchise corporation Acorn Information System LLC have nothing to do with, or can have nothing to do with, the aspect, that commercial aspect of property rights or sale or action of no property that was so designed by the people for a government entity or a government or a branch of government to do. Therein lies our first issue with this whole cronyism, this whole theft of people property here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. That's the first issue we recognize and we try to talk about. How can you have a body or a group of people that start this company to make profit, to make money, to enrich their self, their family, and the whole generation to come? How can we have those people participating in a governmental function by which they are, one, actioning of property to which they have no authority to do, period? Because the last time I checked, this is the United States of America. The last time I checked, we still have a constitution as our legal document by which every and all supposed to abide by, based on the supremacy clause that's in Article 6. How can we have these group of people doing business where they don't have any business to do, and we the people didn't give them the authority? This is to show us that there's a more deep-rooted cause or a more deep-rooted attachment somewhere down the line with some governmental agency or some political players. So we need to weed out or do some research to figure out, one, how can you have a limited liability corporation company registered in Delaware or have the article of incorporation in Delaware, licensed to operate here in Louisiana, doing a governmental function, a function to which the people did not sanction, never did back in 1812, and still in 1974 in this present constitution never did, or give no authority to a private company to do. This company, Civic Source, is here actioning off people property, people private property. So we went through and we explained on the governmental side how the government, that group of people that we establish. And again, you know, it is so important. It is so important for us to remember or to let's find it real quick. Let's find it. it is so important for us to remind ourselves and others the origin and purpose of government. Not because it carries the weight or the name of government mean that it's relevant or it's applicable to us, or it is right and it is our just. You must remind yourself or recognize who you are and who government is and why we have a government. Now, if you're gonna look, or if they're gonna hold the average person to a standard by which they can criminalize you, or they can hold you to some statutory requirement, or refer to the Constitution when it pleases them, or when it pleases them. That means the Constitution as we know it, even though this document is over close to 2.5 centuries old, is still relevant today. Wonder if you follow what I'm saying. Let me break it down. What I'm saying is, you must recognize or keep in mind the origin and purpose of government. It's not everything that the government say or do is righteous. One of the first things you must ask yourself is, why do we have government? What's the purpose of government? Then you're going to draw for your legal document, and you're going to refresh your mind or yourself. All government of right originates with the people. The first few words is telling you that the government, you the people institute this government, is founded on their will alone. So there is concrete backative or evidence. We the people found this government, or found this institution, what we call government. Then you have to ask yourself, why did we do that? And to answer that question, all you have to do is just keep on reading some more. Here we go. And it's instituted to protect the rights of the individual. Need go no further. To protect the right of the individual. So we the people institute and form this body that we call government to protect our individual rights. Brothers and sisters, say it with me. To protect our individual right. So, knowing that, we have to apply what we know in this scenario where we have a for-profit organization registered in Delaware, a Delaware corporation, Acorn Information System LLC, doing business here in New Orleans, Louisiana, and a couple other places too. But again, we're going to keep it local. We are fighting these criminals and their criminal activity. We're going to keep it local. Our brothers and sisters in other territory like Mississippi, up north, wherever. Our brothers and sisters all over the continent of North America, all over North America, who have been losing the property because of this for-profit corporation can join us. But again, right now we're keeping it local. We're keeping it local. So we have to apply this scenario. We have this company, Acorn Information System LLC, this Delaware registered company, doing business here in New Orleans as CivicSource.com. A private for-profit corporation, not a governmental entity. This company is not a branch of government. Does not fall under the executive branch, does not fall under the legislative branch, does not fall under the judicial branch. No branch. So how can this company operates or exercise the function of a governmental body as it relates to taxation or property tax, actioning and selling people property? How can they do it? Look, you don't have to be Ben Matlock or anyone of them, high-grade investigators or PI to connect these dots. And that is why it is so imperative or so important for you to take it down a notch, go back to basics, and then you will be able to connect the dots. The question then must be, okay, let's talk about this a bit. So if these guys if these guys enter governmental agency, how they are doing what they are doing and getting away with it? That's what the question must be. How can that happen? Then a reasonable person, sound mind and body, we then must conclude that there is a connection. There must be a political connection somewhere along the line. My brothers and sisters, there is a political connection somewhere along the line. And what we're going to do? We're going to show it to you. We're going to show it to you right after the break.
Somebody please tell me no. Oh, Master God, world around no. Put the war back and praise God, yeah, me son, tell me no. Oh, Papa Jesus, world around. Make we come together, and Father, so come. There was a beginning, so there must be a end. Let us build a better day for our grandchildren. And looking our heart and see where we can mend, where food is concerned. There is a plan. find food, feed the children, while the rich man have the chicken back and feed the dog them. But whoa, big up to them, evil rise against poor people shall perish in the end. Tell me now, oh Master God, world around you, put the war about and praise God, the army son we want to know. Oh Papa Jesus, world around, make we come together, God the Father soon come. Through the poor can't afford the knowledge, them no get no. The rich man have the dollars, I don't argue with some brother, don't show some bullshit talk. Him a fling down a peer 190 events, him bring down, sell the most crack, the coke, heroin and opium. Them no want to get to you, elevate out of the slum. So them give we all type of thing for try turn with them. Them alone fi boogie woogie and have all the fun. Them alone fi have the girls, them and we no fi have none. Tell me now, oh Master God, world around you, put the war back and praise God, yeah, me son. Tell me now, oh Papa Jesus, world around, make we come together, God the Father soon come. All of them a say who no hear, but you know we not. They will be bowing out here with show. Dollars run the cut, how we want that now. If you no happy or no love it, make me hear pow pow. To politics, business, gangster now, but tell me now, oh Master God, world around you, put the war back and praise God, yeah, me son. Tell me now, oh Papa Jesus, world around, make we come together, God the Father soon come. There was a beginning, so there must be an end. Let us build a better day for our grandchildren. And look in our heart and see where we can make. Where food is concerned, there is a problem. Woman can't find food for your children, while the rich man have the food. I give him dog them, but you say whoa. Big up to them, equal rights against poor people shall perish in the end. Tell me now, oh Master God, world around you, put the war back and praise God, yeah, me son. Tell me now, oh Papa Jesus, world around, make we come together, God the Father soon come. Through the poor can't afford the knowledge, them no get none. The rich man have the money, I no argue with some brother, don't show some bouncy talk. Him a fling down up here 190 events, him bring down, selling them most crack, the coke, heroin and opium. Them no want to get to you, elevate out of the slum. So them give we all type of thing for try done with them. Them alone fi boogie woogie and have all the fun. Them alone fi have the girls, them and we no fi have none. Tell me now, oh Master God, world around you, put the war back and praise God, yeah, me son. Tell me now, oh Papa Jesus, world around, make we come together, God the Father soon come. All the massive who them out to no fi hear, but you know we not. They let me go, we not deal with show. Dollars run the gun. Discipline, that's what you got.
Yes, family, welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to your brother and host, Anthony Brown, coming to you live from the studio of Radio Gumbo Creole. To participate in the program, you can dial us at 504-303-8922. You can listen to us at 712-432-7883. We do live stream this and every show on Facebook. It's Anthony Brown for Assessor 2017. You can also check us out on the web, www.radiogumbocreole.net. These programs are archived in several places, but you can check it out on the YouTube by going to the Proven Truth. You can check out previous recording of the show. Right before we went to the break, we were talking about the fact that we as a people, rightfully so, institute what we choose to call government, give them a document by which they need to abide by, or they should abide by. We break down the fact that within that government, we the people created 3 separate and independent branches. That's key. Separate and independent. That means no one branch of any jurisdiction or authority or portfolio to operate in the business of the other branch. We did that because we need a system of check and balance. So that's why we did that. Now, we also mention that we have, within the Constitution, there was no place for our function or role for any for-profit company, entity, or individual to participate in that governmental function of the people. There is none. There was none back in 1812. There was none back in 1974. And today, 2018, there still ain't none. So when we have a system, or when we recognize that we have a for-profit company doing business where it have no authority or legal footing, legal standing, right off the bat, we as conscious-minded people recognize that there is a problem that we need to attend. Right? That we need to address. Here we have in New Orleans a company, a Delaware registered company, Acorn Information System LLC, registered to do business here in New Orleans, civicsource.com. Auctioning, selling property. Properties to which they have no legal right, constitutional right to do. That's a fact. It's not Anthony Brown saying that because Anthony Brown wants to say that. It's a fact. It's the truth. We can substantiate that with facts and reality. If anybody from any governmental agency, from anyone in the branch of government, if anybody from Civic Source, if anybody throughout the territory of Louisiana can show me where in the Constitution did we the people give the authority to any for-profit company to participate or to exercise any duty of the government branch? I don't only pay a mortgage fee a year, but I pack up and take my ass home. Show me. Prove me wrong. Say, Anthony, you're full of shit. Here it is. Somebody do that. Well, somebody away from Mitch Landry, because we know he's a goddamn crook already. He is, you know, somebody away from Mitch Landry and somebody away from Errol G. Williams. Well, you know something? No. Let them try to do that too. Anybody at all, to include Mitch Landry and Errol G. Williams. Show me where in the Louisiana Constitution or any goddamn constitution we the people, family, when we start this program, we don't only read the Constitution or the Louisiana Constitution. We first read the Constitution of the United States. And there's a reason why we do that. Because the United States Constitution is your daddy. Who is your daddy? The US Constitution, that's your daddy. If your daddy don't give you the authority to do something, you can't do it. And I don't care if the Louisiana Constitution or any other constitution in any other territory have an article or a phrase or a statement in repugnant of the US Constitution. Is not good. It's void of law. So even if, this is what I'm saying, even if somebody would pick up the challenge and say, Anthony, you're full of crap, here it is, I would still win. You know why? Because we have this, my brother. We have this document right here. For you guys on Facebook, we got this one right here. This one right here is the US Constitution. And then this one right here is the Louisiana Constitution. And inside this one right here, who is your daddy, all you have to do is go to Article 6, Paragraph 2. And for those who don't have a copy, I'll read it. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuant thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made, under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land. Look, I can stop right there, but I'm not going to stop right there. Because this second portion I'm going to read to you take us right back to the first hour of the show when we talk about these so-called judges who we know when we go inside these so-called kangaroo courts or whatever you want to call them ain't rendering justice. Because one, the first and foremost thing we know, they ain't coming to you from the Constitution. That's the first thing. And don't take my word for it. It is members of the United States Supreme Court who told us, who inform us, that there's no judge within the United States, and they haven't been since the 1700s. Because all these, they refer to them as executive administrators. Executive administrators. Because what they do, they talk about, or they quote statutes and codes. Look. Let's finish read the Supreme, who is the daddy clause. Shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. Notwithstanding is a phrase, is a legal phrase, meaning within law. So what did your daddy say to you a while ago? Your daddy just tell you, look, I don't care if your uncle tell you something, if your cousin tell you something, if your friend tell you something. I'm your daddy. And what I say is the supreme law. And anybody else tell you anything that's contrary to what I'm telling you is null and void of law. We have these documents. So when we put forth our arguments, we put forth our arguments on solid foundation, solid ground, on a solid basis. Our argument comes straight from the Constitution. And understand me, understand my family. Look, we are not being naive here. We are not trying to be naive, or we are not trying to say that we don't recognize certain things. We are fully, we recognize what's actually going on. We recognize that when we that the way the court system is designed right now, our structure, our setup, and it's been like that for a while. More so in the territory like this, where corruption is just runs rampant. We know that these so-called judges or public officials or governmental agency don't abide by these documents. We know this. We know it because the United States Supreme Court give us that information, told us that when you go inside these courts, you're not being tried based on the Constitution. You are being tried by some other policies, statutes, codes, ordinance. Show me in the Constitution. Show me in Article 10, my Facebook family. Show me in Article 10 of this document, Section 30, where any elected official, this is what Section 30 says. Section 30, Article 10 of the Louisiana Constitution, oath of office. Every official shall take, now did it say just some official, one official, two official? Every official shall take the following oath or affirmation. In quotation, I, Mr. XYZ, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States. Who is your daddy? What come first? The Constitution of law of where? Of the territory of Louisiana, of Mississippi, of Georgia, of New York? No. Before there was any other territory, before there was any other constitution, we had the Constitution of the United States. A matter of fact, let's talk history right here real quick. And a side note, let's talk history. For those who don't recall or remember or know. Every single state, no, I don't like using that word. Every single territory that form a part of this union right now, was to agree to abide by who is your daddy. They say yes, we will, because they want the benefit of being a part of the union. They wanted that. The United States as we know it could be like the continent of Africa. That is the reason why people like Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and for those of you who don't check out my Facebook page, check my Facebook page out. Check my Facebook page out. On my Facebook page, I posted I did a post yesterday where I was promoting this this radio station, telling people, you know, showtime Monday, Thursday, Saturdays. And what you will see is the flag. Now, don't be misconstrued. I don't want people to think that I was trying to depict the American flag. That's far from the case, you know. That concept right there is the concept of a Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Marcus Garvey speak about the United States of Africa. That's where that concept come from. Those colors that you are looking at, that black, red, and green, that's the flag of Marcus Garvey, United Africa. So, America could be like Africa, the continent of Africa, as it relates to the countries. The South Africa, the independent countries. Each of these territories, as we know them, could be independent in and of itself. Instead of referring it as a territory of Louisiana, or for those of you who call it the state of Louisiana, it could be the country of Louisiana, or the country of Georgia, with its own, each of it, instead of having a governor, having a prime minister, or a president, or whatever you want to call it. So that's where that concept comes from. And that's where, and that's how, and because it's not like that, we have the Constitution of the United States, the Who Your Daddy. Because for Louisiana to have its own constitution and become a part of this union, for New York, for New Jersey, for Connecticut, for all of them, they had was to say, yes, Daddy, I'm going to abide by the U.S. Constitution. So that's the reason why in all these documents you read and you will ever read, it comes first. I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all my duties incumbent upon me as whatever it is according to the best of my ability and understanding. So help me God. So it is the document by which they must abide by. This is it. You're listening to The Proven Truth with your brother and host, Anthony Brown. You can join us here every Monday and Thursdays between the hours of 4 and 6 p.m. and Saturdays as well. To participate in the program, you can dial 504-303-8922. You can listen to us on the web, www.radiogombocreole.net. You can listen to us by dialing 712-432-7883. You can check us out live on Facebook. What's going on, Tim? See you, my brother. You can check us live on Facebook at Anthony Brown for Assessor 2017. These programs are also archived on the YouTube channel. Check us out at The Proven Truth with Anthony Brown. Great principles, great ideals, knows no nationality. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the quote of the day. Civic Source. So it is without it is without any legal authority, and we prove this. We outline the purpose and origin of government. We outline the different branches of government. We outline to you that a private for-profit corporation cannot participate or do what a government entity has the authority and power to do. They cannot do what the people did not authorize them to do. We prove to you, we outline to you the fact that Acorn Information System LLC, doing business here in New Orleans as Civic Source, is not a part of the government. Don't have no authority. It wasn't given no authority by the people. No private authority was mentioned in the Constitution. We outlined that. We feel comfortable about doing that. So we now then need to go and find out how is it that this for-profit corporation is robbing people, creating a vast homeless population here in New Orleans without mainstream media picking up on it, without local politicians crying outrage. We need to check and see. Now, where's the time gone? We will continue this investigation another time, another day. This is your brother and host saying much love.